Would you like to be more productive? In this video, I will show you how to increase your productivity and actually decrease the amount of code you write to retain the same level of quality. And all you need to do is to install one dependency. Its name is Lombok. I will go to Google and I will shortly explain to you what is Lombok and how Lombok works. I have a bunch of articles here. Basically, Lombok will type for you. If you type, for example, I have a little class here, player cache. You can see it stores string, name, age, score, and bunch of tags. Basically, Lombok can make life very easy. If you can don't need any of those setters, getters, toString, and even the constructor. You can just remove all of this and you type data. I'm not sure if I have. Yes, I have it. You type data, and if you attempt to access the player cache class now from my mastery project, new player cache, blah blah blah. Now I have all the get age, get name, get score, even set age, set score, and set text, except for the final variable name, so I don't have the set name. And Lombok will generate all of these parameters for you. So that is very, very cool. Alright, so to install Lombok, you need to first of all search on Google Lombok, open up the first link, Project Lombok, click on download. Click download this version here. I have it downloaded already. Close Eclipse. Actually, I will just go back to the previous version. All right. Close Eclipse. Save changes, and double click this Lombok here. And okay, specify location. Now navigate to wherever you put your Eclipse. I personally put it to my desktop. Double click, and select install or update. I have already installed it, so I don't need to click it. After you are done, just click quit installer. Okay, now you can open up Eclipse, and we need to tell Maven to use the Lombok dependency. So I will just go back to Lombok page. I will click install, and now you can just select your build tools. We use the Maven, so it's here, and you just copy the dependency directly to your Maven pom.xml file. I have done it already. It is here. Okay, that's it. If something doesn't work out, just click the project after you have copied this here. Click open it up or click it and select click Alt plus F5 to update it and select OK, and it should be good afterwards. And what is my problem here? It says yes, it's just a syntax. All right, that should be it. And the first thing I will talk about is the getter and setter annotation. This will actually make it very possible to create automatic setters and getters for your methods. So let me just go back to the class here. If I type, for example, if I just remove this getName method and place a getter variable, you can see that it's being imported directly from lombok.getter. I now can access the getName method, and if I click it, I will be given the redirection on my mouse to getter. This means that this Eclipse actually compiles your code on runtime, so you can take advantage of it without actually compiling your file. So that being said, you can create the getters for each variable automatically if you put the getter outside on your class. Now, if I just remove getName and getScore and getText, save, and I can still use them. GetName, GetScore. All of these parameters have been created. Now, for some of you guys, so for example, if you wish to create a getter that is private, for example, you can just type on it, for example, like this, and you open it up with parentheses, and you select volume, access level, simply type private. Now, if I will attempt to reference to it, for example, player cache, PC, new player cache, my nickname, now PC dot get name score text. What kind of method was private? Yes, get age. I cannot get the age method because it is not visible. Lombok will do this automatically for you. As you noticed, I have getter here and getter here as well. This getter will just overwrite this getter over here, and it will just specify, hey, this variable is actually private. I don't want to create a public getter. Obviously, we have a setter as well, so I can just get rid of these ones. And if I should wish to have a private setter, I will just continue and do it exactly the same way. As you notice, we have we have a bunch of other access flags here: public, protected, private, package. This is nothing. This is the same as integer get age, return age, like this. None, not generating anything. Yeah, I personally never used those one. You can experiment with it, and that would be it for the getters and for setters. Just make it private here. Okay, that's it. Next thing is actually toString. This will actually call the toString method, which is overriding the default method. If I open up the super implementation in the object class, this will return something that is very unreliable to you, that says nothing to you. However, if you want to call, for example, just like CISO PC is PC, and you start it, and sometimes you will need to print out the variables directly. So where it is? Here it is. PC is player cache, kangarko 0, 0, 0, and null. Null for the tags that are null. All right, and the rest 0. If you specify a primitive type and you set it to nothing, it won't be 0. It will be it won't be null. It will be 0 and 0.0 for doubles, and false for booleans. It is null for strings. It is null for arrays, and it is null for any other objects. So Lombok can also have the ability to create a toString method for you, and that will actually get rid of all this one here, so you don't need to specify this and type it manually. I just stop my test server running, and I will just create a toString method. You can actually go over and you can actually have a bunch of parameters on it as well. Let me just start it, just to show you guys how it works. So right now we have, yes, name, age, score, text, null. Okay, and if I don't want to display this name equals, age equals, score equals, and tag equals, I simply type include field names to false. I will set it to false. Now, if I recompile, if I launch it again, it will only say kangarko 0, 0, null. Okay, this is working so far. And next thing is actually no args constructor, requires args constructor, and all args or args constructors. You can read about it more here. Basically, no args constructor will create a empty constructor. Now, this is not possible here because we have a final variable. So if I create a no args constructor, this will actually turn out in red because the blank final field name was not initialized. So I need to create a so-called required args constructor, which will automatically, intelligently scan your class for fields declared final, and it will put them inside of your constructor, required args constructor. Now we have it twice, so I can just get rid of this one here. And once again, if I want the value, if I want the access level to something else, I will just set the access to, for example, protected or package. I will terminate because you cannot swap those changes inside of running server. And now this is fully working, and the constructor is name and it is package. So, but what you need to do if you want the constructor to cover all of them tags, you just create an all arguments constructor. You can have all of them, you can have both of them. And now if I attempt to make a new instance, I will be given two possibilities. The first one with the final variable, and the second one with actually all variables. So that's it. Next thing is non-null. If you attempt to place it here, it will actually include this non-null check to the field or even method. Even if you place it above the field like this, and you import, make sure import is from lombok.non-null. This will place, I believe here, I believe if I call this method like get instance, I believe it will insert it here, this non-null check. And the same goes for fields as specified in this example. You can read about it inside of the lombokproject.org page. This is very useful as well. And last but not least, data function. We have almost the exact same class here. I use this for demonstrating purposes. And with Lombok, you all you need to do is to create a data. Actually, data will cover convenient method. This is a shortcut for toString equals and hash code, which we haven't covered. Equals and hash code will actually just create an equals method for you that will evaluate all the fields that the class has the same field that another class has the same fields. Hash code, this will generate a unique number to this class. Remember talking about hash maps and hash sets. So if you use hash sets and hash maps, you may be familiar because they're stored according to the hash code number, and now you know a little bit more about how it works. And next thing it will cover is getters, setters, and also required args constructor together. So I can just go back, I can get rid of all these, actually all of this, and all I need to do is create a data. Now, if you want to specify static constructor, okay, no. Access is not here. But if you want to modify, for example, access, simply, for example, all args constructor, and you can override it here. So right now it works flawlessly. No, undefined. Oh, what happened? Okay, now it referenced to this constructor. I need to remove it. Okay, now it works. Okay, but as you can see, you can still have those getters setters here. So, for example, by default, data will create a public getters and public setters for all of the variables. However, if you wish to have some of them private, you can just create a separate getter or setter for them. You see, PC get age is not available, but the rest is. So that would be it for Lombok. I can just type it like this, even more simply. And obviously you can create a getter for this get instance for static fields as well. Now I can just call it mastery project get instance. If I click on it, it will point to the getter here. This is very, very useful, and it will save you tremendous amounts of time. So I guess thanks for your time and happy using.